All right. I got pulled over. I heard someone yell, "Pull over!" Which isn't normally the way you get pulled over. So I looked over my left shoulder. I had to look all the way back to see them because I was on my bicycle. And they yelled it again, "Pull over!" And sure enough, the person yelling it is a real actual police officer. They had the mustache and everything, legit. But the reason they're yelling, "Pull over," is that they too are on a bicycle. I'm a comedian, I like to have fun. I thought about going, "Oh, no. I know how this works. You have to go, wee!" But then I remembered about cops having a great sense of humor. You know? So I skipped that and I went ahead and I pulled over. And the cop pulled his bike right behind me, just like he would do if we were in cars, with his little headlight shining on the back of my head. And he made me wait there a really long time. Now, I was on my way to a comedy show. I thought, this is cool, I'm in my own hometown, I can ride my bike to the comedy show, and now I'm sitting there with some guy shining his headlight on the back of my head, waiting, and thinking, what am I waiting for? Because if we were in cars, I would assume I was waiting while he ran my license plate through his dashboard computer. But we were on bicycles. So I had no license plates. And he had no dashboard. It's infuriating. And then I look and I see another bike cop come whipping around the corner. Very thin guy, we'll call him Officer Sunglasses. As he pulls up next to Officer Mustache, I thought, that's it. Back up. Because look at me. When I walked out on stage, the first thing you thought was, I would need some backup to tackle with that fella. He looks like one of those vegans. So now he's got his backup. The two of them do this awesome move. I mean, just badass. They both throw down their left foot and then synchronized, perfectly synchronized, swing their right foot over their bikes. It was everything I could do not to applaud. I was like, that was so cool! I know they learned that watching Chips. That was awesome. I love the idea that that's how bike cops bond. They watch Chips together and they're like, ooh, we should rehearse that. That was cool. I'm gonna get some glasses like that. You know. So they make their way up towards my bike, and the officer's sunglasses stops a few feet shy of me, puts his legs apart, and fixes me with a look that says we may soon have a failure to communicate. An Officer Mustache comes right up to me, and he says, "You know why I pulled you over?" Now, don't ever answer that. Because that's how they try to get you to confess. And maybe confess stuff that they didn't even know about. You know why I pulled you over? Was it the drugs in my pocket? I didn't think you could see those. What was it? I don't know. I said, no, man, I don't know. I don't know why you pulled me over, and I'm laughing. Started laughing. Did I mention I do that? In times of confrontation, I tend to laugh. And he says, "Something amusing?" Well, I learned a long time ago that when an authority figure hears me laughing and they ask if something's amusing, I can't tell them the truth. I can't say, no, this is actually respect. See, I always think I'm a nervous laugher, and so this is actually me being afraid of you. It doesn't work. So, I have to think of something quick that's amusing. He says, "Find something amusing?" I said, "Well, just say we're both on bikes, right?" That's kind of funny. You know, it's like we're a couple of kids playing traffic stop. He doesn't like that. Thank you. I'm glad you did. He says, "I assure you, this is perfectly serious." And I can hear his teeth breaking and everything. And I said, "Hey, calm down." "Okay, you guys know? I didn't know." I thought I was going to teach you guys. You don't do that. You don't tell a cop to calm down. I had no idea. Any of you that didn't just gasp in horror, listen up. This is where you get your ticket's worth. Yeah, you don't tell a cop to calm down. It has the opposite of its desired effect. He says, I assure you I'm perfectly calm. He says, you were riding your bike on the K Street pedestrian mall. I was like, oh. Thinking, thank God you were there. I don't think I was. I think I was just crossing it. He says, do you have a driver's license? To which I reply, I'm on a bicycle. I don't need a driver's license. Because I'm already past making friends at this point. He says, do you have a form of identification? I said, yes, I do. And I, handed him my driver's license. He looks at it like it's amazing. And he says, you have any warrants for your arrest, Mr. Jensen? I start laughing again. And it's not the nervousness now. I'm like, do I have any warrants? No, I don't have any warrants, man. You busted me for riding my bike. This is not gonna be your big bust, You're not gonna end up in the documentary about the Zodiac killer, We knew we had him when he rode his bicycle on the K Street pedestrian mall. We moved in. Waited for my backup. Coolly asked him if he knew what I was pulling him over for. Is it because I'm the Zodiac killer? I don't know what kind of fantasy he had concocted. I was like, no, man, I don't have any warrants for my arrest. He says, we'll see. Then he goes back to his bike to call in my license number on his radio, find out if I have any warrants. His buddy in the sunglasses was still just standing there staring at me. And I started thinking, all right, I'm gonna at least, I'm late for my comedy show. I'm gonna at least get a good Facebook post out of this. I start composing tweets in my head. Then I think, man, I'd love to get this on Instagram too. Maybe I could sneak a picture. So I slide my phone out of my pocket, and I take a picture of Officer Mustache. And it goes well, uneventful. I give it a cute check. It looks good. Then I turn to Sunglasses, and I go ahead and snap one of him too real quick. To which he says, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I was just taking a couple pictures to remember our special time together. He says, you can't do that. I was like, oh, okay, noted for future reference. Because I just did. It's too late to undo it. He says, give me the phone. I was like, oh, no, man. You pulled me over for riding my bicycle. No, I'm not a lawyer. I've never gone to law school. And these are the words that came out of my mouth. You just pulled me over for riding my bike. This is not a take my phoneable offense. You hear that one standing up in court, right? Your Honor! This was clearly not a take your phoneable offense. That's what I said. He says, give me the phone. I said, I'm not gonna. And I go to put it back in my pocket, and he reaches out and he grabs my wrist. And I yanked my arm away without thinking. Yeah, where's your ooh now? You don't do that either. Because you find out how strong the skinny cop is. Turns out quite. And he slams me on the ground, gets on top of me. I got a knee between my shoulder blades. My nose is bleeding. And Mustache goes ballistic. He goes full Barney Fife. He comes running over doing a jig. He's fighting. Brain short-circuiting. He's not helping in any way. Just he's fighting. As this is all happening, this is on the part of K Street where there's a lot of hotels and weddings and receptions happen. This photographer just happens to come walking down L Street and then comes around the corner and sees this. And he's like, oh my God, a Pulitzer. And he runs over and he starts snapping pictures. And he's not shy. He's getting right up in my face, and I noticed the cops didn't mind him taking their picture at all. They didn't ask for his phone. They were posing. They were like, get him with his eyes open, you know? Like hunters with a fresh deer. We're gonna hang this one back at the station. So I look up at the photographer and I say, my name is Keith Lowell Jensen, and I would really love to have these photographs. Not because I'm thinking of using them in court or anything, but because I'm a comedian and headshots are expensive. And if that picture was on the poster for tonight, we would have filled this place a lot faster. Imagine my face with the blood and the cop behind me smiling, like you'd be like, I need to know what this is about. Cop picks me up, and that's when Mustache gets in my face, and he says, boy, are you dumb. I'm like, that's hurtful. He says, you're a big dummy. You're a big dumb. Now it's starting to sound kind of wholesome. I was like, these are his go-to insults. This is cute. He says, I was gonna let you go with a warning. Yeah, but now you're under arrest. You're going to jail. How do you like that? You're under arrest and you're going to jail. I was like, I understand. But he said it one more time just for good measure. So I repeated it to him. I'm under arrest and I'm going to jail. Can I ask one question? He said, sure, what? And I said, how? It's fair, right? Because I've been arrested before, but never by a dude on a bicycle. I don't know how do I get on the handlebars? Are we gonna act out a scene from E.T.? What are we doing here? Don't make me run behind you, please. I'm not in good shape. We could ride bikes. That's fun. Let's go ride bikes. He says, we'll call a car. To which I said, oh my God. You have to call the car cops? That must be so humiliating for you. He stomps back to his radio and he calls the car cops, who drive their car right down the middle of the K Street pedestrian mall that I had so soiled with my bicycle tires. They park right on top of the light rail tracks. They come over, they're all, is that the guy? And I'm like, yeah, the bloody one in the handcuffs, that's the guy. I said, what are you gonna do with my bike? They said, we'll put it in the trunk. I said, well, you should probably take a look at my bike. Because I rode one of those big stretch dyno beach cruisers with the giant handlebars and the Springer forks because I was cool. And they look at it and they go, yeah, we're gonna have to call a truck. So then the car cops who'd been called by the bike cops called the truck cops, and then the truck cops came and drove right down the middle of the K Street pedestrian mall, parked on top of the light rail tracks behind the cop car. I've now started a parade. They come out and get my bike. I'm like, hey, bike, when you get to bike jail, pick the biggest bike there and just punch him in the face. Thought I sounded cool. Truck drives off, the car cops put me in the car, and the two bike cops run over to their bikes, and they get in position like they're about to do the Tour de France. And the car cops look at them funny and get in the car, and as they shut the door, I heard the greatest line of the night. The driver turns back to me and he goes, hey man, don't you just hate bike cops? Like, I do! Oh my God.